want to talk about certain things that you need to study in order to understand everything that's happening right now. It is very much like piling everything on in order to understand the final answers, and to be able to connect with what you need to connect with. You actually have to study all these things and maybe even more. But in my opinion, in my experience, studying all these things will get you to the true and final answers. And they are mind-blowing and crazier than what people are seeing right now, which it's okay to believe certain things that are being put out there right now. It's not, there are certain things that aren't gonna make or break you if you believe them. Like, you know, a lot of conservatives just think Trump is doing good and all that, and you know, a lot of good things are coming out of what's happening. You know, a lot of disclosure, a lot of they're talking about things that, you know, that are really important, like sex trafficking and all that. But it is still, you know, the fact remains that politics is a game, you know, and it's an act, it's all theater. And people don't necessarily want to accept that, because people want to think, you know, that, you know, they want to believe in the good that is being put out there. But it's a bigger game than that. So I just want to go over a few things that I believe need to be studied in order to understand where we're at right now. And the rabbit hole, like I've said before, goes very, very deep. And you really don't know that you've reached the bottom of the rabbit hole until you have, and that you're like, wow, that's the bottom of the rabbit hole. And it took me a very long time to get there. It took me a lot of chance, in a way, like the movie Slumdog Millionaire. I feel like that's sort of what happened in my life, is that I've been given all the right situations, certain situations I've been given all through my life to be able to get here. So like, for example, my dad committed suicide when I was like 10 years old, and there are certain things like that happened in my life that made me go on a certain path to truth. And I always wanted to figure out why he died, and because he was such a good soul and he was very sick, you know, allegedly, right? And then all kinds of other things after that. So I was given certain people's, you know, websites and things like that. I found a lot of resources along the way, and I did a lot of spiritual research within myself, and I got all the answers, not by chance, but by my emotions, following my emotions, following my instincts all my life. So here's a little list that I believe is absolutely necessary to look into if you want to get to the real truth. And the real truth is way, way, way more complex than we even think it is. And it's already complex, right? What's being put in the media right now with Trump and the sex trafficking and all that stuff that's being put out there. Oh, they're, you know, they're releasing, they're imprisoning all these celebrities and all that. Like, it all sounds great. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good things that are coming out of this, and there's a lot of truth that's coming out of this. Like, obviously celebrities are corrupt, and you know, they sold their souls to the devil and all these things. But it goes deeper and it gets crazier than that. So the first thing I would look into is obviously like the Illuminati, and then, you know, the Freemasons, all that history, because that's been around for a very long time, and it's really like a satanic cult, and it's obviously there's a lot of things to it, but that's one. You have to understand biblical prophecies and biblical history, because it is history. It's not fiction. Some of it has been changed, but you can find out what has been changed precisely as you become more knowledgeable in all the areas. But along the way, you do get some resources that can tell you what's false and what's true. And these resources you get to know are credible because of the past information you've gained about other things, right? It's really a puzzle. So you're putting together a puzzle, and the more pieces you get, the more it makes sense, and the more you understand that what you found out in the past, this is true. But you have to always keep a space for, like, this could not be true, right? We always have to be flexible in our beliefs, otherwise you could be deceived. So always keep a little space, be humble and be flexible in your beliefs, right? But it is a puzzle. And okay, what else? So Planet X, Nibiru, in the Bible, it's called wormwood. So you have to look up wormwood in the Bible, and then start from there, and then look up Planet X. And I would go to, if you want to go this far, you can go to Planet X News on YouTube. I've been studying this for many years, and it's a crazy thing. And but these are things that are necessary in order to connect all the dots and to complete your puzzle. And then there's, like, along the same lines, there's the sun simulator. It's very important, and they're talking about that right now, right? But I've known about this for a few years, about the sun simulator. The sun in the sky is not real, and I've seen it for myself. I've seen it for myself, and many others all around the world have seen it. Day after day after day, people would post things, and you are able to see things, and you're able to connect the dots yourself. People have seen the sun flickering many times because the sun simulator would malfunction, right? So there's all these things, and then there's all the natural disasters. You can connect all those things. The natural disasters, the earthquakes, the hurricanes, all these things that are happening all around the world is because of the changes that are coming with Planet X coming, right? So this is a second solar system that's coming our way, and it comes our way every few thousand years. I don't remember what it is exactly, but it's all there, and it's all in ancient history. Look up Zechariah Sitchin. Very, very important. Zechariah Sitchin. Zechiarah. Sitchin. Sitchin. Something like that. So I don't remember exactly how to spell it. Zechariah Sitchin is a very, very good researcher, and he researched Planet X and the end times and all the ancient civilizations. That's what he studies. He's passed away now, but it's very, very good. He has a few books out, and he's very popular. Amongst the Planet X community and the truth community. So this is very important. And then look it up online, join some groups, get to know this stuff, because if you don't actually try to understand Planet X and all those things, then you won't be able to connect the final dots, probably. It's so important to do this. So Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, these are all names. They have there's a lot of names for it. So natural disasters are all connected to Planet X incoming. And Planet X is either gone away from us now or still incoming. I'm not up to date on my Planet X information right now because of all this other stuff that's happening and whatever. So Gematria is really important. Gematria, Gematria. It's very important because the Illuminati, the elite, they use this in everything. Symbolism and gematria, so numerology, they use this in everything. It's their language, really. And so you can decode a lot of things that they do. So very important to look into numbers and gematria. You can decode a lot of things. Now what else? So we have the Illuminati, all this stuff. It's a little bit crazy, but yeah, cloning is a real thing. So you can look into that. DUMBS, so DUMBs, deep underground military bunkers. This is very important, and it has to do with cloning as well. So like, for example, they have Bill Gates. The real Bill Gates is actually like, his brain is attached to a machine right now, underground in a bunker. It sounds crazy, but it's not when you start to really connect all the dots and you see all the clones that are out there, and they malfunction as well. So that's important. Watching a lot of movies with all this information is good too. So for example, for, you know, The Matrix, it's a very real thing. It's actually based off of a book. It's based off of a real research, a real theory that a lady had. So you can look into that. I forget her name though, but it's on my page, The Observant. It's on there somewhere. It's actually not. It's actually a pretty recent post, so you can look into that. It's a real research. So the Matrix is real. We're actually in a artificial intelligence program right now. We're actually in a matrix. This is how we're living this physical life right now. And then, so that's important to know. Oh, reptilians, very, very important. Reptilians are real. So David Icke would be a good person to research, although he may be a bit of a disclosure agent, but you can look into his stuff. It's very good, and it's very real. It has to do with, you know, the bloodline of the reptilians and the basically just Lucifer's bloodline that has come down all the way from, what is it, Seth? I don't know. No, Seth, I forget. Cain. Cain was, you know, Lucifer's bloodline, and I think maybe the other one was as well, and there was the good bloodline, which I forget, but it was, so there's a lot of history to look into, but I'm gonna make more videos because it's gonna be important to talk about this stuff. I just feel like people are lost right now, because a lot of people are coming in the game a little bit late, and it's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that they're completely new to all this. They might have known that the media has been corrupt for a long time. They might have known about 9/11, which is something else you can research if you haven't already. They might have known about a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff to research. Like this Planet X stuff is really essential to connecting more dots, and then other things as well, like reptilians. That's super, super important. And then there's, like, you know, studying the Bible and understanding it, and looking into a lot of YouTube channels and different things like that. It's really important because there's a lot of information out there, but instinctively and emotionally, you can actually find the information that you need. Our hearts come from our spirit world, and so everything that you have in your heart, you can go and grab that, and you can hear truth. And I think it's something that people don't know well enough, that you actually have all the answers within you. When you hear, you can know, but you also have to do your research, of course, but you always stay open-minded, you stay flexible, and you're gonna get to know the truth. with the evidence you find, the history you find, and also with your heart and with your spirit, listening instinctively, listening to your emotions is going to help you get to know what's really happening and what's the truth and what's not the truth. A little background on myself, just so you know where I come from. I come from like a liberal family, and I'm not liberal. I'm not into politics at all, because I see how corrupt it is, and I saw that, you know, probably 8 or 9 years ago when I started my page. I didn't like politics at all. I feel like it's just a bad system, and it was, you know, it can be easily corrupted and all that. But I come from a liberal background, and so now that I'm in the middle, because I'm neither conservative nor liberal, I just like to be with the truth, and I just like to I don't want to pick a side, because I don't think it works like that. I think you have to go always with yourself, with the truth, and never to pick any kind of side, even though we want to, because we want to work for the good side of things, and we want to work for the good people, and we want to be in that community. But you have to be in the truth community, in my opinion. It's just the truth. It's just your own truth, and then you can find people who are searching for the truth just like you are. But you don't need necessarily any attachments. So that's a background politically that I've been, you know, faced with. But I came out of that, and now I'm in the middle. I'm with nothing. But if I had to choose, it'd be more conservative for the values, but I wouldn't choose. I don't want to choose, because I think choosing actually says, okay, Trump is right about certain things, and I don't think Trump is right about certain things, and I don't think Trump is a good person, and that's because I've seen all the numbers, I've seen all the gematria, I've seen all the dots connect before all this came about. And even when he was fighting in politics with Hillary at the beginning, I was one of the people who were like, you know, all politics are crooked. You can't trust anybody, and you can't trust anything in politics. You just can't. And you shouldn't feel like you have to pick a side. You have to pick the truth all the time. So being outside of politics actually allows you to see the truth and see from a different perspective. So there's that. And then there's spiritually, I was more aligned with New Age in my family. Like it was Catholic, maybe growing up a little bit, but not really. Like that was more not my immediate family, but really in my immediate family, it was more New Age, more like strictly spiritual. And I actually came out of that at some point, maybe like within the last year. Actually, I came out of that and realized New Age has too many deceptions, and I want to stand on my own with my spirituality. I actually found God without spirituality. Like I'm not sure if I had discovered there were deceptions in New Age yet, but all of a sudden, back in like December 2019, maybe even earlier than that, but God like literally just like came upon me, like came in my life, and I got to have that direct line to God. And I realized then that I don't believe in the New Age belief of we're all pieces of God. God is the universe, and we're all part of the same thing. God is actually his own entity, and we're actually a family in heaven. You know, we're all a family in heaven. Now, are you going to go to hell or heaven? This is a real thing. This is very real, and I've been studying the Bible for a long time, like just the sort of the end times and all that, and I wasn't even practicing anything. I was more New Age than anything, but I knew that this was an important piece of our history. And
Baisse le volume, c'est vrai.
Baisse le volume. baisse le volume. So I was not even with a certain, I was not Catholic, I was not Christian, I was New Age, but I really stood alone in New Age, in my opinion. Like, I never joined any spiritual groups and things like that, but I did do energy healings and things like that when I was younger, and you know, I guess I did do some spiritual things with other people, but not in a big way where I would have been probably drowning in it by now. So in that way, I stood alone, and it helped me to be able to direct myself wherever I need to go, wherever I was called to go, which is how I've basically lived my life. I've always just gone with my emotions. Where my emotions pull me, I go, because your emotions are part of your heart, and your heart is part of your spirit world. And our spirit world is where we need to go back to, right? And this is where we belong. This is not our real world. This is not our real, you know, this is not who we really are here. But our spirit is here, and our heart is here. So we come with a spirit and a heart, and we have to pull the mind with it. I mean, it's a whole thing, but I mean, your heart and your heart, your emotions, these are your heart, your emotions, your spirit. These are the things that are most important. So you can connect directly to God, but you have to stand alone in things, and you have to keep searching for truth all the time. That's how you're going to get to the real truth in life. So those are some things you could look into. So it's very important, those things. Really, the reptilian thing, the Planet X thing, the Bible, studying the Bible a little bit, the end times, the sort of the apocalypse. It's very important because it is what we're living in. As scary as it may sound, there is a way out of this, but it's a spiritual way out of this. But we can't be scared of that, because that's really where our true life is, and we're conditioned to believe that this is our true life, because look outside, look around you, it all looks so real, and it all looks so great, right? Nature is beautiful, our family is beautiful, we connect with people, and that's beautiful, but we can't just think that this is it. There are things that are a million times more beautiful than this, but it's in our spirit world, and we're hidden from it. We're in the third dimension. So there's, in the fourth and fifth dimension, there are the evil entities who are deceiving us in this life. So they have access to this matrix here, and the matrix is a whole other thing. This artificial intelligence that we're a part of, and it's everywhere around us. It's embedded in a lot of things, a lot of programs, websites, all these things. Artificial intelligence is actually everywhere, and there's a lot of predictive programming for it in movies, even in music, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just talking about the apocalypse and all that. So we're living in those times, and we can't be scared of it. We just have to realize that it is the truth, and for me, I know that it's the truth. I've been studying it for too long, and I followed my heart very well in my life, very well, and it's gotten me into a lot of trouble, but without trouble, like what's gonna happen? You're just gonna play safe your whole life, and you're not gonna challenge yourself. You're not gonna have heartbreak. You're not gonna have true love. You're not gonna have epiphanies. You're not gonna have incredible moments of truth and beauty, and you're not gonna have certain kinds of visions and beautiful, incredible dreams, and you're not gonna have a connection to God. You're not gonna have that direct line to God. And believe me when I tell you, I have a direct line to God, but it doesn't mean I'm special. It means that I followed my heart. And it means that I've been working at this for a very long time, and I've been working hard at it. And you could work really hard at it, and it doesn't have to take you very long. It really all depends on, you know, probably your commitment to it, and how you're going to treat your emotions, and how you're going to guide yourself in this life. All those things are really important. Last thing I'll say, it's incredibly important to look into Sherry Shriner. She was amazing, and I don't believe in idolatry. I don't think you should you shouldn't idolize anybody or anything, because that's what gets us into trouble. So don't idolize anything. But she is incredible. Her information, her research. So to research, her research is a really great thing and important thing to do. So it's Sherry Shriner. She has a lot of websites on. She's passed away now. God took her back, but she did her work on earth, and she did a great job. And then there's one last person, Yahushua Ben David, on YouTube. Very important. I might leave his link on the video, because he's incredibly important. He connects everything, and he studied Sherry Shriner a lot, and he's studied this all through his life, everything that's happened around him since he was young, the media corruption, all that. He's seen it from a very young age, and you know, I've seen a lot of things too. I've been around mental illness a lot. And, you know, you could say, oh, she's probably mentally ill. But no, mental illness is a lot different than what people think. It's actually much deeper than that. It's because they can't handle the spiritual world that is actually our world. And they see through it. So it's very hard. Those people are actually the people who are most awake, most enlightened, are the people with mental illnesses. And that's why I always wanted to figure out my dad's suicide, and believe me, that's an interesting story, and it's a beautiful story too. I mean, it was tragic, but the truth that you get from it, and the truth that you get from mental illness, is incredible, and it's important to completing the puzzle that we have in front of us. So keep searching, and you know, I'll do some more videos. I think it's important right now. There's a lot of deceptions happening, and I would like for people to be more aware of all the different aspects of things, instead of just looking at certain things that are being put out there on the media, especially things specifically for conspiracy theorists to believe in. There's deceptions for everybody. There's deceptions for conspiracy theorists. There's deceptions for Christians. There's deceptions for Catholics. Deceptions for New Agers. There's deceptions for liberals and conservatives. And yeah, there's deceptions for everybody out there. There's deceptions for atheists. So it's important to understand they have a hand in everything that we believe in, everything that is put out there. It's a deception. Obviously not everything is a deception. It's just that media and the government and all that, they're filled with bad people, right? And not just bad people, they're evil entities that work from the 4th or 5th dimension, and they know how to control us. And it's really important to understand the deceptions, and to understand that they can do things that you couldn't even imagine they would think up. Like, it's a wild kind of stuff that they think up, that you're like, what? You know, how could this have ever been, you know, how could this is so intricate of a lie. It's an intricate deception, and they're all very intricate deceptions. Every big one of their deceptions are very intricate, just made specifically to fool you, and all because they work from, you know, a dimension that we don't even understand. We don't see, we don't understand how powerful it is, and how they can control everything very well from there. And we're in a lower dimension, you know, whether we like it or not. But our spirits are from a higher dimension than them, so we can win against evil. But we have to, you know, vibrate higher. And vibrating higher means being with the truth and being in touch with your emotions. That's most important. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye.